Hello grade 11, it is now the 18th of May. Now, before we go any further, I just want to tell you that in the memo files for learners folder, you will see memo for 17th of May, memo for 18th of May, and so on. You'll also see friendbook DB. So if you were absent for the last couple of days and you missed all that work, you can go and open the files there. I suggest that you don't do it unless you really have to. You were absent because you need to practically do the activities in order to learn. So this video is just to show you the quick video to show you how to do it, and then you do it by yourself. I am following the instructions in the textbook, so you can do that. We are skipping example 8.4 because 8.4 example is all about connecting using code. You don't have to know how to do that at all. We only did 8.3 and the other activities before that. But 8.4, leave out example 8.4. So we're on 8.5 now, on page 178. And there's this is our main program, and what we're going to do is we're going to put a database grid on there. So in order to display our tables, we're going to put a database grid. Before we do that, we're going to open the program that we finished writing on the 17th of May. So say file, open. So if you haven't got your program that you wrote yesterday and you're not up to date, you can go and open the program from the memo files, which will be in the grade 11 term 2 folder, chapter 8 data. Oh wait, no, not data, sorry. Memo files for learners, grade 11, and then chapter 8 data, and then memo 17th of May. Okay, so that's what you can go and open, and then you go file and open again to open the data module, which will default to the same folder, and the data module will be confriendbook.pas and open. Now why? Okay, can't find it. Don't worry if that happens if it can't find it. Just click OK and OK, because then we have to go and make the connection string. We have to go and connect it again. So the confriendbook DB, we double click on that and build it again. Click on build, and then we have to go and navigate to the folder again. Yeah, I know it was supposed to do that, but it didn't. So that is an issue. Click on friendbookdb.mdb or the backup and click open, test connection, and yeah, maybe it'll work for you, but for me obviously the path was missing. The path that didn't work, but sometimes it does work, where you delete the path and then test the connection and OK. So remember, you test the connection first, then delete the path, test the connection again, and then click OK, and then click OK. And then we have to reconnect TBL friends. Click on TBL friends and choose the table name, and then click the active property to true, and then DSR TBL friends will be fine. Right, so that's that done. Now we can go to this friend book, this main program, and we're going to put a database grid right here, and then we're going to follow the instructions. 8.5, we go to our tool palette and we find tool palette over here. We go find database, where is it, data controls, TDB grid. It's the first one. We click on it and we're going to draw a grid over here, as large as we actually want it to be. Okay, like that. Now we're going to rename it to DBG friends. So I'm going to click on the database grid, go to the name property, and I'm going to call it DBG friends. And by the way, if you think that this is not important, all of this stuff, you have to do all of this for your PAT. So no skipping out on any of the work. Right. Right, so we've got our database grid there, but now we've got to connect this database grid to our data source. Remember I told you the data source was going to be the final connection to database, and there it is. We click on database grid, dbg friends, which we've named over here, and then we go to data source property and we choose this one, dbmfb.dsrtbl friends. That's the data source, and there we go. We can see all the data in the table, and that is it. So you should now be able to see records of your table. Only problem is some of the columns are too wide. Not so, they really are too wide. So we'll go here to the onShow event and put this code in. That is making sure that the columns have a certain width, and it's very useful to do this, so otherwise your program doesn't look very professional at all. So we click on our form and we go to events and go to onShow on the left hand side. Okay, and now we're going to go and get that code. Yep, I'm copying and pasting, and Control V. Well, I could have typed it in, but I didn't, you know. Now there's columns 0, 1, 2, and we can go and add. How many columns do we have in our table? That's the question. Oops, sorry, wrong form, wrong page. Right, if we go and open our database table, so you go to the same folder where your program is. Obviously we need to make sure our database is there, so there it is, friendbookdb.mdb. Enable content, and if we look at our table, we see we have ID, surname, first name, date of birth. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that ID field is field number 0, and we made it in 30. And then surname, first name, I don't know why we made first name that wide, but never mind. Then the next field will be date of birth, so we must make sure that we have the same widths that we want for our columns so that we can see them. So column number 3, which is actually the 4th one, 1, 2, 3, 4, then the class will be smaller, so column number 4 here, which is actually field number 5, so that will make that 50, and then we'll have another one, make sure we number it properly, and that field is the profile views. So I guess we can make that 40. It's going to be enough, and you can always change it, you know, after, if you see it doesn't work. Now obviously number 6, maybe 120 or even greater would be okay, because the bio, you could have just a lot of things there for the bio field. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 fields. In our code we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 columns that we have specified the width of. So we can save and test our application, but you have to run your program in order to test it. So I'm going to close my database now, and then I'll run the program, and hopefully anything. This is your challenge, to make this program run and connected. If you manage to get it done the first time, well done. So as you can see, I've actually could change the surname and the first name fields, and I could make the profile views has to be larger, and bio obviously a lot larger. So that is how we're going to fix the sizes of the fields. It's in the onShow event, so I'm going to make that 200, 220, and profile views, which was, I've forgotten now what profile views was. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5. Number 5 must be about 70. Anyway, we'll see what that does. It's getting better, it's getting better. We can even make the bar even larger. So as you can see, that is how you can change the view of your database grid. Okay, go get on that for the rest of the lesson. Make sure it's happening, make sure you're connected.